But you must be warned that your son has now made himself my enemy.
Don't even think about going after him.
I'm not sure if you would be saying that if you knew that he was coming after you. I should have listened to you, Devante. Now I'm convinced that Quinlan did expose my true identity. It's clear as to how she found out in the first place. You can't expect me to commit perjury and make myself Devante's target. That's exactly what I expect you to do. As for being Devante's target, you don't have to be as long as he goes to prison. And what if Devante doesn't get convicted? Will you offer me protection? You just better hope that Devante does get convicted. Mr. Dorval, can you explain to the court how you became acquainted with Mr. Torres? My family and I had just moved into Valley Park and we met Mr. Torres and his family at the Russo estate for their Labor Day picnic. Mr. Torres explained to me that he needed to work with an HVAC company that he could rely on, and I agreed to do work at his hotel. At first, you two got along. That's correct. What changed? I heard that he was responsible for taking the life of Elvira Russo, so I decided to cut ties with him. How did Mr. Torres feel about that? He certainly wasn't happy about it. In fact, he wouldn't leave me nor my family alone. In fact, he asked me to serve as a character witness for him, but I refused to. That's when I started getting threatening text messages and was eventually ran over outside of my business. Who do you think sent you those text messages, and who do you think ran you over? I believe that Mr. Devante Torres was behind it all. Mr. Dorval, what made you so sure that my client took Elvira Russo's life when you heard of his arrest? When I heard that he had an affair with a teenager while he was married with a child of his own, that told me that I didn't really know him at all. Mr. Dorval, were you involved in a lawsuit with Mr. Isidore Russo? Objection. This question is irrelevant. The witness is speaking on my client's character. My question leads into the sort of man my client is. Overruled. Did Mr. Isidore Russo file a lawsuit against you? We both know that he did. Did my client refer you to Mr. Udell Mitchell to be your lawyer? He did. So my client offers you more business and refers you to a lawyer when you face legal issues. Yet you were so certain that he's this monster all because the media told you that he was? It's his actions that made me realize that he was a monster and a danger to my family. You believe that my client is a danger to your family? Mr. Dorval, wasn't my client shot on your property? Objection. Your Honor, this is a completely different set of circumstances. The witness claimed that my client was a danger to his family, and I'm trying to get the court to determine whether the witness's claims are justified. Overruled. Yes. Mr. Torres was shot on my property, but he was threatening my wife. Did your wife shoot him? No. Who did, Mr. Dorval? My son, but he was only trying to protect his mother. Is your son mentally ill, Mr. Dorval? How dare you? Objection! The mental health of the witness's son is irrelevant. Your Honor, the witness just admitted that his son shot my client and stated that he did so to protect Mrs. Dorval. The court needs to know if my client was truly a danger to the witness's family or if the witness's son was mentally stable. Overruled, but proceed carefully, Miss Drake. My son is mentally ill. Schizophrenic? Yes. Mr. Dorval, was your son taking his medication around the time that my client was shot? No, he wasn't. No further questions. I would like to bring Dr. Terry Burke to the stand. Legally, my name is still Terry Burke, but I'm in the process of changing my name back to Murphy. Of course. How long have you known Mr. Torres? Not long. Can you describe your relationship with Mr. Torres? Honestly, I can't say that there is much of a relationship. I'm sorry, but I was under the impression that you two were friends. I was never a friend of his. In fact, after false medical records came out that he received an STD, he threatened to sue the hospital.
Is this true? Of course not. She's lying. She's lying and I don't know why.
Was there not a photo on your social media page with you and Mr. Torres at his hotel? There was. He told me that I could either be his biggest champion or lose my job once he owned the hospital after winning the lawsuit. I knew that the medical record was fake and I was terrified. Most of all, I knew what he was accused of and feared for my life and the life of my son.
You liar! None of you believe a word that comes out of her mouth. She's lying right through her teeth.
Mr. Torres, sit down and be silent or else I will have you held in contempt. Miss Drake, get a hold of your client. Listen to him, Devontae. Sit down. Adaku. Hello, Miss Franklin. What do you want? I want to take your life because you screwed up mine. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't like being lied to, Miss Franklin. Most of all, I don't like being made a fool of. Adaku, please, stop squirming like a little baby, Miss Franklin. I need you to get into my car and take your final ride. If you don't do as I say, then I will blow your head off on this spot. Then have my men shoot your brother through the heart and let the crows eat the flesh off of your bodies. In simpler terms, come with me if you want your brother to live. Dr. Murphy, did you not agree to be a character witness for my client? I did, but he wouldn't take no for an answer when I rejected it at first. Dr. Murphy, I understand that when it comes to being on the stand, it can be nerve-wracking. Because of that, we don't know what we're saying at times. Why serve as a character witness for my client if he's so terrifying? Because he wouldn't take no for an answer. Let me remind you that you took an oath, and I'm going to give you one last chance to be honest. Did my client truly threaten to sue the hospital if you didn't become friendly with him? Did he truly force you to take a picture with him? And are you truly terrified of my client? Where are you taking me, Adaku? As for the exact location, you'll find out when we get there. Right now, all you need to know is that I'm taking you to your final resting place.